6 times lighter than a domestic cat, it has been filmed launching itself at prey in slow motion ambushes. Its relative pounce speed rivals that of a cheetah. Meet the world's smallest wildcat, a creature so tiny it could curl up inside a coffee mug. Living in the dry forests and scrublands of India and Sri Lanka, the rusty spotted cat is a living contradiction, ferocious and fearless despite weighing barely more than a can of soup. Local farmers occasionally find them nesting in abandoned huts, seemingly unbothered by the proximity to humans. Zulu legend says the black-footed cat can bring down a giraffe, clearly an exaggeration, but a telling tribute to its ferocious reputation. Do not let the delicate frame fool you. The black-footed cat of the Kuri Desert in South Africa holds the title of the deadliest cat on Earth. By kill rate, it successfully hunts roughly 60% of the time, compared to a lion's 25%. In a single night, this tiny predator can catch more than a dozen prey items, running up to 32 kilometers in its relentless pursuit. Sandcats can detect prey moving underground using their oversized ears, and their low-set ears help them hunt with their heads held flat against the dune surface, almost invisible. Somewhere beneath the scorching dunes of the Sahara, a sandcat is sleeping. It vanishes underground during the brutal midday heat, only emerging at night when temperatures plunge below zero. Its recovered paws act like built-in snowshoes on hot sand, and it can survive without drinking water for months, extracting every drop of moisture it needs from its prey. The flat-headed cat's webbed feet and water-resistant coat make it one of the most aquatically adapted of all wilds. Cats more otter than feline in its lifestyle. One of the strangest-looking cats on the planet, the flat-headed cat lives almost entirely along fast-flowing rivers in Borneo, Sumatra, and the Timor Peninsula. Its skull is flattened like a river otter's. Its eyes are set far forward for binocular vision in murky water, and its teeth are so backwards angled that a slippery fish almost never escapes its grip. It is so rarely observed that almost everything we know comes from camera traps. The Kodkod has a melanistic, all-black form that appears in higher elevations, a striking near-mythical variant that researchers almost never photograph. Tucked into the ancient Valdivian temperate rainforests of Chile and Argentina lives the Kodkod, the smallest wildcat of the Americas. It hunts by climbing trees with extraordinary agility, raiding bird nests and chasing lizards through the dense, dripping canopy. Deeply secretive and rarely photographed, it is so poorly studied that locals sometimes don't know it exists, even in areas where it lives. Where the ranges of the two Oncilla species overlap, they simply refuse to mate. Their isolation is behavioral, not physical. Evolutionary mysteries still unsolved. The Oncilla looks like a miniature jaguar, a pocket-sized predator of high-altitude cloud forests and dry scrublands of Brazil. Recently, scientists discovered it is actually 2 separate species, the northern Oncilla and the southern Kiger cat. For millions of years, they lived side by side without interbreeding, one of the most extraordinary cases of sympatric isolation ever documented in wild cats. Unlike most cats, the Pallas's cat has round pupils, possibly an adaptation to its open bright steppe habitat. Its fur is so dense it can look twice its actual size, staring out from the windswept Mongolian steppe with an expression of perpetual outrage. The Pallas's cat is the internet's grumpy philosopher. Its extraordinary range of facial expressions, it can look furious, defeated, appalled, and regal within seconds, masks a genuine survival genius. Living at altitudes up to 5,000 meters in the Himalayas, it withstands conditions that would kill most animals, sheltering crevices and caves when blizzards roll in. Geoffrey's cats are one of the few wild cats that can be taught to use a litter box and live peaceably with humans, though wildlife authorities strongly advise against keeping them. Geoffrey's cat is perhaps the most resourceful small cat in the Americas. When a river floods the Argentinian grasslands, it swims. When prey hides in trees, it climbs, and uniquely, it can descend a trunk headfirst, like a squirrel. It is one of the few wild cats ever domesticated experimentally, and its fur was tragically among the most heavily traded in the 20th century, with millions killed before protections arrived. The Margay is one of only 2 wildcat species confirmed to mimic other animals. Calls as a hunting strategy, the other being the Ocelot in very rare observations. The Margay is a cat that never really needed to come down from the trees. It spends its entire life in the forest canopy of Central and South America, hunting at night with ankle joints that rotate 180 degrees, allowing it to hang from a branch by one hind foot. It has been documented doing something almost no other predator does, imitating the distress calls of baby tamarin monkeys to lure adult tamarins within striking range. Salvador Dali famously kept an ocelot as a pet and traveled with it everywhere, including onto the ocean liner QE2, causing considerable alarm among fellow passengers. The ocelot once ranged from Arkansas to Patagonia. Today, in Texas, only approximately 20 individuals cling on in 2 tiny pockets of dense thorn scrub, a population so isolated, so fragile, that a single disease event could erase them. Yet across Central and South America, ocelots remain adaptable survivors, equally at home in rainforests, mangrove, and grassland, a reminder of what generalism can achieve when habitat remains. The word caracal comes from the Turkish caracal, black ear. Its iconic ear tufts may amplify sound, help with camouflage, or signal mood between individuals. Researchers still debate which. For centuries, Persian and Indian royalty trained caracals to hunt birds, placing them in rooms full of pigeons and betting on how many a single cat could bat down before they flew away. The record 12. This tradition, called setting a cat among the pigeons, likely gave English its famous idiom. Today, free-ranging caracals can leap 3 meters into the air to swat birds mid-flight, making them the most aerially gifted ambush hunters alive. The Jaguarundi makes at least 15 distinct vocalizations more than most cats, including bird-like chirping and a strange purring trill used during social encounters. Everything about the Jaguarundi says, "I am not a cat." Its body is long and weasel-like. Its legs are short. Its head is small and flattened. Its tail is absurdly long. Unlike most felines, it is largely active during the day, foraging through dense undergrowth in a fast, low-slung lope that resembles a mustelid more than a feline. DNA, however, is unambiguous. It is the puma's closest living relative. A bobcat can kill a white-tailed deer weighing over 70 kilograms, more than 5 times its own body weight, using a precise bite to the top of the skull or throat. The bobcat is North America's most successful wildcat, and most people living near one have never seen it. It goes through suburbs, golf courses, and farmland with such discretion that camera traps in dense residential areas regularly capture them strolling past parked cars at 2 a.m. It hunts everything from mice to deer 10 times its size, and its adaptability to human-altered landscapes makes it one of the continent's great ecological success stories. The Canada lynx's enormous snowshoe-like paws spread its weight so effectively that it can run across deep snow faster than a wolf, sinking through the same surface high in the boreal forests of Canada and Alaska. 2 species are locked in one of ecology's most famous dances. The snowshoe hare population surges every 10 years, and the Canada lynx surges with it, feasting and multiplying. Then the hare crashes, and the lynx starves, its population collapsing in near-perfect synchrony. This predator-prey cycle, documented continuously since the 1800s through Hudson's Bay Company fur records, is a cornerstone of population ecology. All cheetahs alive today are so genetically similar they can accept skin grafts from each other without rejection, evidence of a catastrophic population bottleneck approximately 10,000 years ago that nearly wiped them out. The cheetah gave up everything for speed. Over millions of years, it shed the heavy musculature of its cousins, shrinking its brain case to reduce aerodynamic drag, lengthening its stride to cover 7 meters per step. It cannot roar, it cannot retract its claws, it cannot fight a lion or hyena for a meal. It just runs, reaching 100 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds. But every sprint costs so much that, after a successful hunt, a cheetah must rest for 30 minutes before it can eat, during which competitors frequently steal its kill. Snow leopards cannot roar. Instead, they make a haunting call called a chuff or proustin, a gentle puffing sound used as a friendly greeting between individuals. At 5,500 meters above sea level, where the air is thin enough to make humans pass out, the snow leopard is merely at home. It haunts the broken ridgelines and cliff faces of 12 countries across the Himalayas and Central Asian ranges, hunting blue sheep and ibex across terrain that would require ropes and crampons for a human to cross. Its magnificent 90 centimeters tail, nearly as long as its body, is both a rudder for balance and a personal blanket, wrapped around the face while sleeping against wind chill temperatures of minus 40 degrees Celsius. A puma can jump 5.5 meters vertically from a standing start and cover 12 meters. Horizontally in a single bound, the athletic equivalent of a human clearing an 8-story building. No wild cat in the world occupies more territory than the puma. From the Canadian Yukon to the tip of Patagonia, from sea level to 5,800 meters in the Andes, it has colonized virtually every biome in the Western Hemisphere. Yet it purrs, it cannot roar. Alone, among large cats in the Americas, the puma belongs to the small cat lineage, a giant that evolved large but kept its voice quiet, communicating instead with chirps, whistles, and a haunting scream. The jaguar's spot pattern is unique to each individual, like a human fingerprint. Researchers now use AI photo recognition software to track individuals across the Amazon. The jaguar doesn't stalk and strangle like a lion or suffocate like a leopard. Kills with a single, shattering bite directly through the skull or spine, a technique so powerful it can crack open sea turtle shells and caiman skulls. The most powerful bite of any cat relative to its size, delivered with such precision that prey often dies before it hits the ground. To the Maya and Aztec, The jaguar was not just an apex predator, it was the night itself, the ruler of the dark world beneath the earth. The Asiatic lion in India's Gir forest is genetically distinct from African lions and nearly went extinct in the 1890s, down to approximately 20 individuals before strict protection reversed the decline. The lion is the only social cat. Every other species hunts alone. The lion built a civilization. Prides coordinate hunts with planking strategies that suggest genuine communication and planning. Coalitions of males fight together to hold territory and lose together when they fail. The females of a pride are almost always related, forming a matriarchal core that can persist across generations. A lion's roar carries 8 kilometers and serves as a GPS broadcast. I am here. This is mine. Come at your peril. No two tigers have the same stripe pattern, and the stripes extend through the fur to the skin beneath. Even a shaved tiger would still be striped. A century ago, 100,000 tigers prowled Asia. Today, roughly 4,500 remain, and yet that number is rising for the first time in recorded history, pulled back from the edge by India's Project Tiger and stricter international trade enforcement. The tiger is a solitary, water-loving ambush predator whose stripes dissolve it into the dappled light of dense forest and tall grass. It can consume 40 kilograms of meat in a single meal, then go days without eating, a feast or famine existence conducted in near total solitude.